government in this town is excellent and uses your tax dollars efficiently.
You thought you'd see it coming. The moment Bitcoin is what they fear it is. A way to read it.
What an astounding revolution. Bitcoin represents.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice. Their genes have been sliced. They're Pinky and the Brain.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Crypto Show from the most dangerous studio on the planet.
Acapulco, because this is Luke Rudkowski. We are changing. We're doing a very special edition of the show. Of course, the Saturday Crypto Show, which we do every single Saturday, no matter what. No matter if Josh is sick or traveling, it doesn't matter. We will still do this show every single Saturday, giving you the most important news with cryptocurrencies. Obviously, this week is on Acapulco. It's been an insane event. Health and wellness was just nuts. We're tired. We're exhausted. So we're doing a special edition, one shot, one take. We got a lot of special guests. And, of course, the first one is Danny of the Crypto Show. He's been doing incredible work with Dash and entrepreneurship and volunteer work, which we're going to be highlighting on our YouTube channel later. And Josh, how are you doing? And who else we got on the show?
It's another beautiful day in Acapulco, and we are joined by Tio and, of course, Omar from Crypto, and very good YouTubers, very good bloggers, and I'm excited to get on with the show.
Well, I'm very curious because there's been, I don't know, this is surprising to me, guys, but anarchists are fighting each other over ideologies. I've never heard this happen before. There's a big debate going on between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. You guys just hosted a huge kind of debate on your show. Can anyone explain to me what is going on between Bitcoin Cash? Because I have no idea what's up.
It was a great debate, about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, and the clear winner was all the other altcoins.
But Dan, you got to explain our audience. I don't even know what's going on. What was the debate over? What's happening?
There's the first cryptocurrency was Bitcoin. It was created by God knows who. I think it was an alien or a ninja or a time-traveling god. I really don't know who created it. Nobody does, but there's speculation. Now we have community. People have been talking about how to push this currency to the world. How do we get people talking about this thing so we can all use it? So it's been migrating, actually, Bitcoin. It's moved from like a place where all the geeks and nerds talk about it to now pushing into the mainstream. But the discussion has always been about how do we make Bitcoin so everybody can use it as cash, because it's data technology. It's prehistoric technology, some might argue. So there's a bunch of different coins. But the Bitcoin community seems to have split into Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin One as a store of value, or like gold, if you guys know. It grows in value over time. It keeps your value. And one meant to be used so you can buy stuff at Starbucks.
Well, yeah, absolutely. One of the things I figure I'll add to that is you mentioned gold, scarcity, demand, application, use, and Bitcoin is very similar. However, there have been problems in recent days. Everyone sees it. Everyone knows about it. However, the one of the great things I find about blockchain, decentralized blockchain technology, is that we are really in a unifying movement. So, a lot of people yell at one person because they have Bitcoin Cash and yell at another person because they have Bitcoin. And in the end, to me, it's about how can we bring down the central banking system? How can we stop wars? And blockchain technology really has a great potential to do just that. So with that said, there's lots of news right now on Bitcoin Cash, EOS. And the first story I'll go to here, Luke, is now there's a new development of a decentralized exchange. And as Bitcoin.com here says, Bitfinex has announced that it will launch a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange built on the EOS.io platform. The new platform, EOS Finex, will be the first exchange to be hosted using EOS.io's decentralized application infrastructure. So without going further into that, Tio, can you talk about what you think about this?
Well, for me, a lot of it's social. I like to approach things mostly from the social side. I don't know a whole lot about tech. So I'm not saying I'm a socialist. I actually don't agree with any particular ideologue.
A socialist on our channel.
Social, the way we interact as human beings as a community is extremely
If we was
important.
in Texas, I'd get a rope.
So here at an Anarchy or Anarch Festival, what you're kind of got to take into account is that this is very ironic. The point of this being is that without a chief or ruler, we're all individual leaders and rulers of ourselves. What we need to do is take back our own power of understanding. This is a social connection with people that we use, and is why things like Facebook are so popular. So there's been contention in the community between the brand of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash.
And that's what's led to so many different coins. Like EOS you talked about, it's one of those tokens everybody's talking about as the next big coin. Some people believe. Some people say it's not going to be. But the fact is Bitcoin has splintered into so many different coins. So an exchange based on tokens that are created within the EOS coin is really, really interesting. But one point that I want to talk about in the news today was that there's this guy who kind of predicts the internet using these web bots. We have these spiders that scan the internet. You had him on your show, actually, too.
Yeah, and before you continue, I just want to give some context. Bitcoin, or the whole cryptocurrency market cap, just went over 500 billion today. So to his point, please continue.
Yeah, he who predicts kind of the future in certain ways predicted a while ago in his reports that he does sometimes monthly that Bitcoin the third week of February would begin soaring all the way until May and then take a break until August. So it's been kind of flat recently, but right on point. The market starts shooting up past 500 billion, over 100 billion, I believe, almost in a week.
Yeah,
a few days.
It's unbelievable. And, we're going to try and get to as much news as we can. It's Mexican internet, so we'll do the best we can. But with that said, there's now there is some
on the soundboard here.
There is some interesting news, though, that I looked at this morning about Visa double charging people on cryptocurrency. Now, we're looking at centralized, digital currency, or a way to exchange goods for services. And this is where cryptocurrency comes in, because it's so revolutionary. If there isn't huge fundamental issues, as we've seen recently with Bitcoin, I still have my fingers crossed for it. I believe that we should support a market and support with the demand of our dollar, and hopefully whatever market wins will win. It's not up to us, it's up to the general market. But it is interesting that we have these antiquated systems like Visa and MasterCard that are double charging people and screwing people over, I guess you could say. And, in the context of buying cryptocurrency, that which will likely replace it. What do you guys think of that?
I got a really scary email the other day in the middle of the night that said that my instant buy on Coinbase, where I buy most of my crypto, was canceled because my bank declined it. So I freaked out and I thought, okay, this is the end. This is the crackdown. And there are going to be risks with cryptocurrency, which is really interesting to me. In that moment, I thought maybe this is it. Maybe Bank of America, JP Morgan, all the banks that have colluded together. The book Creature from Jekyll Island, actually the author was here, speaks about that, how the banks have done this since 1913 in Jekyll Island. So they're basically a cartel. And if they decide, they don't like Bitcoin, they will squash that connection. Luckily, it turned out to be some sort of error on Coinbase's end. I got an email the next day. All the banks were suffering from it. So
yeah, but the propaganda is definitely out there. I mean, with this Visa kind of mistake that they just made on the kind of major exchange, you're not hearing mainstream media sounding the alarms, how dangerous, how unsafe, how unstable this is, how much damage this is doing. You're never going to hear that at all. You're going to see a lot of propaganda, a lot of disinformation, a lot of hyperbolic fear-mongering, especially with the cryptocurrency community. And for some reason, this kind of resource, this new technology, this new kind of blockchain is treated, even though it's just like cash, it's treated like it's some dangerous kind of knife in the alleyway when it's really not. Danny, what do you think? And what kind of news stories are in the news that you're keeping up with?
I don't really care.
Danny, you're running the crypto show.
I'm actually running the soundboard right now. You guys are all over the place on the mic. So,
yeah. Well, actually, I wanted to bring something up. So, I mean, when we're looking at blockchain technology, we're looking at something very revolutionary, as I've mentioned so many times before. And we're seeing a monetary crisis before our eyes. The fiat system it inevitably has to come crashing down. It always has. It always will, going back to 1024 AD in China. So when you're looking at, this FUD that's thrown around the markets through the media, through governments, through banks, one of the things we see a lot is, well, what if terrorists finance themselves with Bitcoin? And they're like, we need to use this as a reason to ban Bitcoin. But then you actually look at it and it's like, 99.9% of money used, or money quote unquote used, in order to finance terrorism is fiat. So maybe we should ban fiat. Maybe we should ban government, because they're the biggest supporters of terrorism around the world as well. Yeah. That's where it kind of brings me, is that there is always that FUD, and we need to get stronger as a community to pull away from that FUD, because every week we see something that's completely nonsensical in the media, whether that be the South Korean FUD that they're going to ban Bitcoin, or the India FUD that they're going to ban Bitcoin.
Or last year's China FUD that crashed the price 50% almost.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it has to come down to us understanding the fundamentals involved, not just getting involved in the greed, which, hey, it's rewarding to, be paid big bucks. But when it comes down to it, it's what it's being used for. And people have to stop falling for this FUD and dropping down the price of all these cryptocurrencies based on, well, the mainstream media said. I mean, it all comes down to, they're going to regulate cryptocurrencies, but how can they enforce that? How on earth can they enforce that?
I think a lot of it should probably come from the use of linguistics. Here, a lot of these things aren't linguistics. Like, for instance, they're not all currencies. They're not all coins. The blockchain technology or any of the disruptive technologies coming out of this space can be used in applications for business, and that's a large part of the market that's growing up right now. That's why there's so much conversation around SEC and the rulings, or these securities or tokens. It's not because of the money value. It's because you can build business in a whole new way. And I think once we change this to digital assets, because they're not all cryptocurrencies. They don't operate like coins at all. So changing the way we use the words, I think, is one of the ways that we can fight back.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, Steemit, it's a great example. DTube's a great example. We have things built on, on the blockchain. It's not all about, the money involved. It's the fact that you can revolutionize the world around us using blockchain, decentralized, make that very clear, decentralized blockchain technology. I say as often as I possibly can, you can use a gun to slaughter a whole bunch of innocent people. You can use that same gun to save a whole bunch of innocent people from being slaughtered. And the same thing goes for for blockchain technology. You can use centrally planned blockchain technology to enslave the populace. You can use decentralized blockchain technology to overthrow that which enslaves the populace. And that's what is so great about cryptocurrencies. That's what's so great about decentralized blockchain. And I'll throw it back to you, Luke.
Well, it could be a honeypot by the NSA and the deep state, but who really knows? Anyway, regardless, what I really like about this community is how giving they are. You could see that as an example with the Steemit community, who has allowed us to thrive. It has allowed Josh to thrive. We're actually going to be doing a new show once a week exclusively on Steemit. So definitely don't forget to check us out there. It's not just content creators that earn cryptocurrencies. It's also users who vote and comment. So we're at the 10-minute mark, leaving you guys with last comments. Who wants to go first? Danny, words of wisdom.
Keep watching Luke's channel here. He needs the help.
Support everybody, all your creators on Steemit. We have content creators demonetize places like YouTube. Support DTube, support Steemit. That's all I have to say.
Decentralize everything.
And of course, everyone's channel, Josh's, Omar's, Danny's, will be in the description below. If you guys are on Steemit, you guys will also be highlighted on there.
Don't forget Tio.
Luke needs the help. Luke needs the help, guys.
Tio just jumped in last minute. Sorry, Tio, you get no love. I love you guys, though. I love you guys, though. And I really appreciate you guys watching and participating in real alternative media. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more.